Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Haefner, and welcome to this week's Sport Psych in a Minute. We've been talking about the 5 pillars of success. Last week we talked about motivation, and this week I'd like to talk about goals. There's 2 things that I'd like to share with you today about goals. One is, what do we need to do in order to have a well-formed goal? And the second thing is to share with you some thoughts about qualities and characteristics of goals that are going to help us to achieve them. There's a commonly known acronym around goal setting, and that is SMART goals. And what that stands for is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific means we want to get really clear on what it is that we're going to do and accomplish rather than having just a general idea. Measurable means we have to have some way of knowing when we attain a goal. Surprisingly enough, human beings are terrible at charting their own progress, and having something that's measurable helps us bypass our tendency to despair and claim we've made no progress, and also lets us know where we are on our pathway. Achievable, our goals need to be things that are within reach. If they're out of our reach, they are things that we'll end up feeling demoralized about, and often that strongly negatively impacts our motivation. If they're not far enough out, we can also get bored in achieving our goals, which also impacts our motivation. Relevant. When we put our time and energy in something, we want to know it's taking us in the right direction. And if we make sure that our goals are relevant, we can make sure that they're keeping us on a pathway to our longer term goals. The last thing is time bound. And what the time bound nature of a goal does is it keeps us honest and keeps us moving forward. Human beings have a propensity to procrastinate. And having something that's time-bound keeps us from saying, oh, well, I didn't get to it, I'll just do it next week. And before you know it, we're 3 or 4 months out and we haven't taken any steps moving forward. The other thing that it does for us is it gives us a frame for evaluating where we are and needing and allowing us to adjust our goals along the way if that's something that we need to do. The second thing that I want to share with you about quality of a goal is the idea of levels. The idea that we have keep in mind goals on multiple different levels. When we make SMART goals and we work on getting specific, a lot of times we're focused on what's right in front of us. And knowing what we're going to do today, what we're going to do this week, what we're going to do this month, what we're going to do this competition season, those are really, really important goals to have. But at the same time, it's important for us to keep in mind the bigger overarching goals, which I'm going to call aspirational goals. What do we aspire to 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years from now? What is it that keeps us motivated and moving in those directions? So, when we're thinking about goals, make sure that you're thinking about them from aspirational goals down to maybe 5-year goals, down to maybe what am I going to accomplish this year, down to this month, this week, and what we're shooting for today. Finally, just like last week when we talked about motivation, there's an internal and externally driven goals. And we want to make sure that when we're setting our goals, that the goals reflect an internal sense of motivation, that they are things that we really connect to and really want to do. More so in goals even than motivation, the external portion is really, really important. We are trusting our trainers and instructors to help us understand what are the next steps, what are the things that we need to learn about or to accomplish, what are the things our horses have to learn about and accomplish in order to take steps towards our goal. So yes, we rely on them and we rely on those external motivations. But again, to remember that our primary driver and our primary goals need to be things that we really want for ourselves. This has been Sport Psych in a Minute, and we'll see you next week.